The goddess of wisdom, handicraft, warfare, and the patron of many cities across ancient Greece, Athena was most famously associated with the famed city of Athens. The Athenian bond and connection to their protectress goddess is the topic that we will examine in this video, from its early origins in the Bronze Age Greece to the flourishing cult of the archaic and classical times that made Athena one of the most popular and celebrated deities in all of Hellas. Religion represented one of the key elements of the ancient Greek society. Ever since their beginnings and development of an advanced civilization of the Bronze Age, the Greeks worshipped and paid tribute to a long list of gods and deities. Sometime during the Archaic period, these numerous gods were grouped on several levels, with the most important ones being known as the 12 Olympians. One of those Olympians was the goddess of wisdom, Athena. According to the Greek mythology, Athena was the daughter of Zeus, the ruler of Mount Olympus and king of the gods. Athena was born without a mother, as she emerged from Zeus's head, fully grown and carrying full military equipment. Being connected to wisdom, handicraft, and also warfare, Athena was always considered to side with those pursuing a just cause, and was generally one of the most celebrated deities across the Hellenic world. Many city-states regarded Athena as their patron goddess and protectress. The most famous of those cities, and the place where the goddess was by far most deeply rooted and enthusiastically celebrated, was the city of Athens. During the Bronze Age, Athens was just one of many palace centers of the Mycenaean Greece, and likely without a strong religious policy of its own. Likewise, goddess Athena did not seem to have held the importance she later did, as only few Mycenaean Linear B inscriptions mention her by name. One inscription from Knossos mentions Athena Pontia, which is generally translated as the Mistress Athena or the Lady of Athens. As the similar name also appears in the undeciphered Linear A inscriptions of the earlier Minoan Cretans, it is difficult to assess Athena's origin with great certainty. However, during those early times, the goddess seemed to have been connected to the palace, likely as its protectress, and likely associated with the city of Athens. Even among the later ancient Greeks, there seemed to have been a debate whether the goddess got her name from the city or it was the other way round. In the founding myth of Athens, it were Athena and Poseidon competing for the patronage of the newly founded city. Poseidon produced spring as he struck the ground with his trident, a symbol of the naval power that the Athenians would later become. However, Athena created an olive tree, a symbol of peace and prosperity, and the everlasting cultural importance that the city would later obtain. The inhabitants of the city, together with the ruler Cecrops, ultimately chose Athena as their patron, and the city was subsequently named Athens. Following the general collapse of the Bronze Age and the fall of the Mycenaean civilization, the literacy among the Greeks ceased to exist as the whole region fell into the Dark Ages. Athens, being one of the very few cities that never suffered major destruction, was one of the first to recover and re-emerged as a local power. Athena subsequently emerged as a major goddess of the Greek Pantheon, well respected and widely worshipped across all of Greece. She usually appears as a wise and steadfast goddess, typically aiding protagonist heroes in their noble pursuits. Symbols most associated with Athena included an owl, an olive tree, military equipment, snakes, and an amulet showing the head of Gorgon, Medusa. The Athenians paid homage to Athena in numerous ways, having many depictions, monuments, and statues of the goddess across the city, as well as her temples located on the Acropolis in the center of Athens. Even before the Archaic Age, there seemed to have been a small temple or an altar dedicated to Athena. In its place, a temple of Athena Polias was constructed in the early 6th century BCE. Several decades later, during the rule of the Pisistrate family, the so-called Old Temple of Athena was built on the remains of the Mycenaean era palace. Also in 566 BCE, the Panathenaea or the Panathenaic Games began to be regulated as one of the most important festivals, held every 4 years in Athens and believed to have originated from the times of legendary Athenian king and hero Theseus, honoring the goddess Athena. Other festivals included Arephoria, an annual feast honoring the protectress of the city, as well as Chalkeia, a festival of bronze workers, emphasizing Athena as the goddess of handicraft. Another festival, called Plinteria, was also held every year, taking place over several days, in which a group of women performed the so-called Praxiarchidae, a ritual service where the temples were closed and the statue of Athena stripped of its ornaments in order to be ritually cleaned. The city was considered without its protecting divinity, and any business was therefore discouraged until the ritual was completed. Around 500 BCE, the older Parthenon of Athens was built and included the sanctuary of Athena. However, many of these, including numerous other buildings and monuments, were ultimately destroyed during the Persian destruction of Athens in 480 and 479 BCE. As the Persian invasions of Greece ultimately failed, the Athenians, together with other allied Greeks, came out victorious. The period of great reconstruction followed in Athens, with goddess Athena assuming the central role. The Temple of Athena Nike, symbolizing the Athenian victory, was built, as well as Athena's altar and Athena Promachus, a giant bronze statue of the goddess that inspired the Athenian victory over the Achaemenid Persians. Most of these new monuments were commissioned by the celebrated Athenian statesman Pericles during the period that we today know as the Golden Age of Athens. The sculptor and architect of these everlasting masterpieces of art was none other than Phidias, widely known for many of his works across all of Greece. However, the most iconic monument built during this period was undoubtedly the New Parthenon, a building that the great city of Athens is well known and famous for to this very day. Inside the Parthenon, most prominently positioned was Athena Parthenos, a massive sculpture of Athena built from ivory and gold. The Athenians took great prestige in being protected and most beloved of Athena, and subsequently always considered their cause to be justified as opposed to that of their adversaries. After all, it was Athens that brought us the values that persist to this very day, such as the very idea of democracy, carried and fought for over millennia, and often with the spear and shield, symbolized in goddess Athena. Please consider subscribing and sharing the video, as this is a one-person production and it greatly helps the visibility of the channel. Special thanks to History with Sai, Nico, Panayotis Yiannopoulos, Fred Leckie, and Estate Care for their continuous support. If you wish to become a Patreon member, please click the link in the video description. This was WanaxTV, and we'll see you again soon.